Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, December 24th. We are in the final hour of the trading day and the final day of the trading week. Thank you all for coming today. I really do appreciate it. It's always nice to see you, and I look forward to seeing everyone every day. I'm just very grateful that we have such a nice little community where we can share trade ideas and spend an hour or so together every day during the last hour of the market. Speaking of, last hour of the market is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions. I say this every day, but I do think it's important. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They are the ones in control of the price at the end of the day. They're dealing with the most money, very smart people, best technology, best information. And in the long run, in my opinion, following what the large financial institutions do at the end of the day is a long-term edge in your trading. So, glad I have the live stream going again. It was touch and go there just a few minutes before the start. Hopefully it will stay up and be stable. If not, we'll do the best we can with the time we have, right? Currently, the Dow Jones is up 210 points. It's up 0.7%. The NASDAQ is up 75 points, up 0.61%. And the S&P is up 27 points, up about 0.75%. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a couple day trades today, one winners, one losers, but I will share those with you. After that, we're going to go over and take a look at the board and take a look at your positions. I see some of the positions are doing very well over there, which will be fun to go through. After that, we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk about trader psychology, always the most important part of the day. It really, really is. New traders, I think that the setup's the most important, and it is important, but it's not the most important. The most important is following your plan, having the mental fortitude to create a plan and then follow it. So I like to touch on it every day. Hopefully it will help you by me mentioning it every single day and just driving it into your head. So I apologize to those that don't like to hear it, but I'm just trying to do, I'm trying to be helpful, and I just know from 25 years of experience that it's the most important part. After that, we are going to go down through Kamal's watch list. I have taken a look at some potentials from his scanner. We're going to go through those. Real quick, 3 requirements before I look to enter any new trade. Confluence combination of signals lining up on multiple time frames is the best way. I look at each indicator as MACD and RSI, moving averages, entry triggers like V1s, V2s. I look at those as potential groups of buyers coming in, and you'll put yourself in the very best position to have a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. If you're the only buyer and everyone is selling, you are going to have a hard time making money going to the long side. So the more the merrier as far as buyers go, and looking for confluences or combination of indicators lining up is the best way that I know of to get into the company with as many other buyers. Step number 2, requirement number 2, have to have a good risk to reward ratio. It's very important. It's extremely important. I know we get caught up sometimes in momentum moves, and then we see them continue and we think, wow, maybe it'll go up one more day, right? But risk to reward is it's really what matters in the long run. There's a trade today on Eli Lilly that I'm looking at. Kamal and I discussed it. It is a little chasey, but on the other hand, it's right above the 200-day moving average. So it gives me a good line in the sand that's close. It gives me a definitive line. So 2-to-1 risk to reward minimum. And then number 3, please always take some time. Take a look how many positions you have, how many correlated positions you have. If you have a bunch of tech stocks and you see another tech stock entry, well, maybe if there's a gold entry or an oil entry or something like that, maybe you should go for that one just to give yourself a little diversification, all right? So I'm going to go down through the watch list. I'm going to try to narrow it down just to the very, very best one. Today is Friday, so weekly bars, I will be looking for a weekly setup to take, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if there's anything at the end of the day. And then on the regular trades, if I find something, I'll buy it before the market closes. After the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer. If you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols, please put them in the chat. Put an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then lastly, as always, if you have any new entries for me today up on the board, any new additions or subtractions, if you could please wait till after the market closes to tell me about them, that would be great. And I would appreciate that because that way I'm done teaching and I'm done trading and the pressure's off and we can spend all the time we need to. Okay, so I'm going to run that US legal disclaimer and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see who is here. Lova is here. Good to see you, Lova. 74, hope you're having a good day. Quad Racer, good afternoon, Greg and group. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Quad. Hey, I read your post on the Facebook about who gave you the worst investing advice, and Quad said the worst investing advice I ever listened to was not buying Bitcoin. And did I read right that had you bought Bitcoin when you wanted to, you would be up $65 million, Quad? Is that correct? Oh, man, I read that and just cringed. Oh, buddy. Bob M is here. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Tracy Peterson. Hello, Greg from PAX 2 and all. Oh, great. Tell Paxton hello and good to see you, Tracy. And got your message from Casey, or I got message from Casey, so I'm trying to help him out, and I think you told him, so appreciate that. Kamal is here. Hello, Mr. Kamal. Good to see you, bud. Nice chatting with you all day as usual. Ramble Ron. Hey, all. Hey, Ramble. Good to see you, bud. Morgs is here. Hey, Morgs from South Africa. How you doing, sir? Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hi, Frank. Good to see you, kind sir. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Gary. Jatin says, hello, sir. Happy Friday. Thank you. I'm glad it's Friday, honestly. It's been a long week. Good to see you, Jatin. Evan says, good afternoon. Hi, Evan. Gary M says, Lily has a fractal V2 above 200. Yeah, that was my read on it too. That's why it came to my attention as well. Hello, Ava. Nice to see you. Hope you are having a nice day. Pat, hello, Pat. Nice speaking with you yesterday and looking forward to getting together on Monday. Hope you're having a good day. And Johan is here. Hello, Johan. Nice to see you, Captain. I think I'm going to just start calling Johan Captain because he's an airline pilot. Hope you're having a good evening in Hong Kong. I know you're having a good day in the stock market. Morg says, all good. Thanks, Greg. Hope you well on your side. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, should we get to it? Let's see. Let me take a little quick looky-see over here. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, we'll see if that goes through. Oh, we have a poem from Frank. Let's do the poem before we look at my positions. That's more interesting. Let's see what Frank has to say today. There's an entertainment side to trades. You can game it, but the market will do what it wants to do, especially if you try to contain it. That's true. So read a graph and have a laugh. Just don't stick your neck out like a giraffe. Ah, that's great. That is great. You know, Frank, I was telling a friend of mine about you the other day, and I was like, he comes up with these poems every day. I don't even know how it works. I mean, he just channels the poem land, and he gets these poems. Let's read it one more time. There's an entertainment side to trades. You can game it, but the market will do what it wants to do, especially if you try to contain it. So read a graph and have a laugh. Just don't stick your neck out like a giraffe. I love that. Thank you, Frank. That's excellent. And I like the read a graph and have a laugh part. That's great. You don't hear that a lot. Thank you, Frank. Quad says, yes, I had an opportunity to invest several thousands of dollars in Bitcoin when it was almost unknown. Close to 10 years ago, it was pennies a coin. Oh, man. Oh, darn it. I don't even know what to say. I wish you had, buddy. I wish you had. Shoot. Yep. There's always disappointment in this game, one way or the other. Yep. All right, let's get to it. Carmax. All right, so I think we have just Gary and I in Carmax. Bought this V2 back here on December 1st at 91.06. Hasn't moved much since we bought it. It moved down, but it recovered. It is up slightly today, so slightly up on the day, slightly up on the trade. No profit targets. I'm going to give this another day or two. If this doesn't start to move, I'm just going to institute a time stop. A time stop's when you buy something and it doesn't go down, but it's just not doing anything. And with V1s and V2s, they should take off in a couple days. They really should. And if they don't, it's a bit of a bad side. I may revisit this again today and actually exit this at the end with a small profit just from a time stop perspective. Nktr. Okay, so I think I'm the only one in Nktr. I did buy this yesterday. Kind of a strange setup, I realized, but we had this big bar the day before I bought it. We came down yesterday, but we held halfway. We held the 50 RSI. We held the 50-day moving average. Gave me a good risk to reward trade. There was a lot of volume to the upside. There was only a little volume to the downside. So I went ahead and bought it. Kind of an unusual trade, but it's doing pretty well today. Did hit one profit target, 1741, and it is up 1.7% today. So very happy with that. Nike. Oh, man. You know, I have all these positions, some of them large positions, and all I did today was obsess about Nike. Is Nike going to close above the 70 on the weekly? Well, at 69.86, you can see it got right to the pink line, which is the 70 RSI. This was a weekly trade I took when we had a big down move. We had a rally back up into the big down move on high volume. That's why I took the trade. Has not worked out, but I'm going to have to watch this at the end of the day. Currently, I'm down 2.81%, so not too bad. But still not too fun either. But I am sticking with my plan, trying to set a good example here. If it closes over the 70 RSI today, that will be the end of the weekly bar, and I will get out. But right now it's at 69.87, and it is at a 70 RSI and at the third ATR channel on the weekly. So down on the trade, I will just keep this, and I'll make the decision at the end of the day. Nike, not Nike, I have Nike on the brain. Microsoft, Gary, Johan, and Johnson. We did buy Nike here with this nice V2 at 213.82. It's moved up a bit, took some profits, came back down, went back up, took some profits. Is down today though. It's down not a lot, 0.35%. It is holding halfway of this washout bar. I've been looking at this washout bar as well for kind of an indication, and it is holding that. So I think what I'm going to do on Microsoft is I am going to hold this unless we close below the 50 SMA. So slightly down on the day, slightly down on the trade. Nvidia. All right, so we have Steve, Johan, Ava, and myself. We did buy Nvidia with the 1030 crossover. Bought it here at 541.80. It's 539.52. It is up 0.69% today, but I am down on the trade. And then I think either Johan or Ava bought it here at 535.90. I can't remember. So either Johan or Ava, they are in the money on Nvidia, but Steve and I are slightly down on the trade. We bought it at about 541.80. It's 539.46. Peloton. Gary, Quad Racer, and I bought Peloton at 115.97. This one's been all over the place. It is down 1.51% today. When I looked at this earlier, I said, okay, if it loses the 50-day moving average, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of it for a small loss. This one just hasn't acted well. A lot of these positions have not acted well. So that's my plan. I'll just have to look at that at the end. Overnight SPY trade was a good one. I bought it yesterday at 366.69. I sold it today at 367.30. It is higher than the open, but still a nice little gap overnight SPY trade. I'll buy that at the end of the day. Excuse me. Healthcare. Frank, David, Johan, Ava, and myself did buy healthcare back here at 109.37. Nice return to value, consolidation, V1. One profit target today, 112.05. It is up 0.77%, and I am up 2.56% on this trade. USO is up 0.8%. I did buy USO at 30.97. Right now it's 31.50. I did buy it on a monthly bar. I bought it the last day of November. Now this is going to be a long trade because every bar, it's not 5 minutes. It's not in 39 minutes or a day or a week. It's a month. But these kind of trades can lead to really big moves if you're right. Just for example, if I were to actually hit my third profit target on this, I think it's like 37% or something, 54%. So we'll see, but I do like to mix up the different time frames. I like to take some monthlies, I like to take some weeklies. Alibaba, I think I'm the only one. No, Kamal had a day trade, if I'm correct on this, at 261.25. So he is in the money for sure. I sold puts, and I am in the money as well. I sold puts down here to $180 with the negative 1 ATR channel and the 50-month moving average. That's why I picked the 180 on the monthly, and that lined up nicely on the weekly. The 180 on the weekly lines up nicely with the 200-day moving average. So I sold puts on this. As long as it stays above 180 by January 15th, I will be able to keep all the premium. And it is nicely in the money already. Apple. All right. Oh, I guess I better show the Apple day trades. So I had two trades today, 2 Apple day trades. First one was a good one. Second one was a small loss. I did buy Apple here. We had this nice big bar up. I didn't want to chase, but I wanted it to come back into the range of this big bar. And then I took this V1 here, day 1, day 2, day 2 washes out day 1. Took it here at 121.81 when it triggered the V1 and also closed above halfway of this bar. So I bought it at 121.81. 1, 2, 3 bars later, had a big up spurt bar. I sold half at 122.17. Continued to go up and up and up and up. Here it rejected the 200-day. I got out of another half of a half at 122.47, and then the next bar had to close below the previous day's low. So pretty good trade. 121.81 out at 122.17, out at 122.40, and out at 122.47. So that was the winning trade. And then I did have a small losing trade here. I took this V2, bought it at 121.86, and then the next bar, boom, immediately came down. Looks like I was right in the general sense, but I had to follow my rules. So I entered at 121.86, and I had to get out at 121.79, but it was only a 9-cent loss, right? So, the other one was multiples of that, and you are always going to have losing trades, but the key is, and this is a good example, my winning trade much larger than my losing trade. So lastly, I did buy, let's see, Frank has a runner from 111, Gary's long from 108, I'm long from 116.58 with a 1030 EMA cross. Moved up immediately, took profits, came down here, had a big sell-off bar. I sold half of what I had left, but I did keep half, and I'm glad I did because it's rallied strong ever since. So all in all, profitable trade, but it is down a little bit today. All right, let me take a look here. All right. Let's look over at your positions. Quad. I still have quad in VIX. It is down 2.18% today. DOCU. GM snagged it at 218. Brian Yass has a third of a position left. Bought it here at 224.12. Came back down, they held through earnings, and today it's up 5.37%. So congratulations to all of you. Nice day, although that is a bit of a bearish bar. Spotify, Brian, Johan, look at this trade. They bought Spotify with the 1030 EMA crossover at 269.60. Moved up, had that huge up day. It's been moving sideways essentially for the last couple days, but it is up 0.79%. And Brian and Johan are up roughly over 15% on this trade. So excellent. EXAS, we have David and we have Ava bought here at 116.59. It's 133.26, up 1.98% today, and roughly up 12.64% on the trade. Excellent, David and Ava. AGQ, here's another great trade from Steve. I think Steve was the only one in this. Yep. Bounce off this 200 on silver, and boy, did it bounce. It is up 0.05% today, but up 12.12% on the trade. So excellent. Paycom, Kamal and Johan, the dynamic duo, bought this return to value V1 381.75. It is up another 1.55% today. And these two guys are up 12.126%. Holy smokes, that's great. Jatin bought the Dow a couple days ago at 298.70. It's 301.94, up 0.64% today. Excellent. Alibaba, we already talked about that. Kamal has a day trade. I believe he's still in that from 261.35, and it's 266.93, so that's excellent. TMO, Brian bought TMO at 448.50. It's 472.75, so very, very nice trade there, Brian. GLD, Quad bought GLD at 170.20. It's 172.26, so up over $2 on the trade with the close back above the 200. Walmart, looks like Nick bought Walmart calls expiring 12/11, but Walmart is down today, so it looks like down on the trade, down on the day. Shopify, another great trade from Kamal, bought down here at 893 and 900. So if we average those two, it is down a little bit today, but Kamal is up, looks like just a little over 15% on the trade. That's about standard for Kamal. Brian M bought Wayfair at 243.09. It's 237.79. It's down 0.83% today and down a little bit on the trade. ALGN doing very well for Jatson here at 441 even. It's 522. Holy hamburgers. Up 15.32%. That's like the standard move now. 15%. It's unbelievable. I'm so proud of you guys. MasterCard. Gary sold puts. On MasterCard, down to 290. It's at 242. So as long as it stays above 290 by January 15th, they'll be able to keep all the money for his premium. So that's excellent. Netflix, Jatin bought Netflix at 504.80. It's 498.97. So slightly down on the trade, but slightly up on the day. Here's another monster from the dynamic duo. Kamal and Johan bought Intuitive Surgical at 733. It is 779, up 6% for those two. Excellent. Amazon, let's see. Steve Burns bought Amazon with the 550 EMA crossover. He bought it here at 32.1981. It's 31.62.84, so it is down a bit on the day and it is down a bit on the trade. AYX, Johan bought AYX on the weekly at 115.39. It's 116.83. Is up a little bit today, and he's up on the trade. The Qs, Jatin and Frank, I think this is right, bought at 284.60. It's 305.09. Looks like Jatin sold half. Frank took a half a position to begin with, but this looks like it's up 6.69%. Zanga having a big day up for Bob. Bob bought Zanga at 791, and this is a monster. It's up 4.28% today. He is up 9.79% on the trade. Congratulations, Bob. Very happy for you. Facebook, Kamal and Jatin bought Facebook. Kamal bought here at 265.90. So he is up nicely on the trade. Jatin bought at 282.97. So slightly down on the trade. Google. Jatin bought Google at 17.48. It is 18.28. It's up slightly today, but nicely up on the trade. And lastly, UGL. Steve bought UGL here at 62.36. It's 63.18. It is slightly down today, but it is up on the trade. And Jatin bought at 62.70. So that's the rundown there. I don't see very many large losses. I say this every day, but I'm just thrilled to see everybody holding their winners, doing whatever they want with their winners, but generally getting out of their losers quickly, which is extremely, extremely important. Okay. David is here. How you doing, David? Good to see you, sir. Quad says it was 0.003 cents per coin. Oh, goodness. I'm thankful I hadn't, because life brought me a different path where I met my amazing wife. Wouldn't change that for any dollar amount. Oh, man. Let's give it to Quad for that. That's so nice, Quad. Holy smokes. That's beautiful. Really, that is beautiful. Quad says, but if I get the opportunity for a buy like that now, I'm taking it. Okay, sounds good. Jatin says, that gap up advice of yours is like in my head so strong. Eventually, it gave me the conviction to hold ALGN. Oh. Good. Good. I'm not 100% sure. I say a lot of things, but that's good. Steve says, hello, everyone. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, bud. Nice to have you here, sir. Honor and a privilege always to have you. I'm always excited to see you. I know everyone else is. Steve says, my new chart patterns book is live. Oh, excellent. Steve, maybe if you could send me a link, and then I can share it in the live stream. Congratulations, Steve says. Gary, it takes courage to trade. Yuvar says, hello, everyone. Hello, Yuvar. Good to see you. GM is here. How's it going, GM? Gary says, I'm seeing a lot of rising wedge patterns on declining volume. Time for me to be careful. Always time to be careful. Steve says, I am seeing the same, Gary, especially on SPY and the diamonds. Good. Steve says, I am up almost 14% on my AGQ from entry. Yep, we just went over that, and that was a nice trade for sure. Greg, Kamal says, Greg, I'm not in BABA. All right. Hey, I get about 92.3% of these right. That's pretty good, right? Kamal says, Steve Burns, nice trade, perfect entry. GM says, Steve, the charts are issuing warning signs, but the market and the retail traders seem to be ignoring it as the market pushes higher. What am I missing? That's usually how it goes, I think. I think that's about usually how it goes. Take a quick look over here at Eli Lilly. All right. Hey, speaking of Steve Burns, before we turn our attention to some possible end-of-day trades, we were just talking to Steve here in the chat, and Steve had a nice, short but sweet, good piece of advice. This is from Steve over at New Traders, Rich Traders over on Facebook. By the way, it's a really good channel on Facebook. You should come over and apply because there's some great traders there, good information. It's a pretty serious group, good content. So Steve says big losses usually happen after big wins because that is when a trader is the most confident to trade big. Does this resonate with anyone? And, you know, reading trading books, listening to market wizards, this is a reoccurring theme that these traders say, you know, I've always had my biggest losses after my biggest wins. And why? Well, because that's when you're the most confident to trade big. You know, you feel bulletproof. You feel like, you know, you've been running good, right? You've been doing well. You feel pretty smart maybe. And honestly, that's when people get a little cocky. Right? That's when people get a little cocky. So it's counterintuitive, but I think the worse you do, the more confident you should become that things are going to turn around. And the better you do, I think you should be a little cautious and say to yourself, you know, Greg, you've had a pretty good run here. Let's not get cocky because, you know, the market punishes people that are cocky. I see it all the time, and boy, did it punish me when I was young being cocky. So it's just like the ocean. The ocean's fun and nice to play in on a good day, but on a bad day, you know, you can drown, right? You have to have respect for the market. You have to have respect for the ocean. But, you know, think to yourself, if you've been trading well and you've been having big gains and you're starting to feel very confident, one, it's probably because the market's moved up so much that it might be at a point where it's going to turn around just from a natural technical standpoint, right? So if you're feeling cocky, take a second, think to yourself, I should be grateful for that I've had a good run here, but you know, I should be very careful and not just throw caution to the wind. So thank you, Steve. I read that and that really resonated with me. And so I hope that helps everyone else as well. Okay. Japton said, book 50% AGL here at 523. Okay, remind me at the end, okay, Japton? But that's excellent. Steve says, I sent the link to your Twitter and email. Okay, let me see if I can grab Twitter here. If I can get, here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to post this. And so this is the paperback edition of Steve's newest book, The Ultimate Guide to Chart Patterns, is now available on Amazon, co-authored by Antismetov. I don't know who that is. And with historical charts by Trend Spider. Excellent. I will get that. Looks like it's available on Amazon. And I just posted it there in the live stream in case anybody'd like to have an easy look to go take a look at that. GM says, Greg and everyone, hope all is healthy. I'm done for the week. GM has dropped the mic. She is out. She is done. She cleaned up on Docu, what's it called? DocuSign, she grabbed it at a cool 218 yesterday, and it's 243. Nice trade in GM. Steve says, Gary, the rollover can take a long time. Then suddenly there's a huge down day in my experience. Yes. You know the old saying, bottoms are an event and tops are a process. Steve says, Vicks has bottomed for now. That is another warning sign. Yeah. I mean, well, Vicks is continuing to go down, but it's not doing this kind of going down. It's just kind of really going sideways. So, and we talked about yesterday the put call ratio. Let's see what the put call ratio looks like. Anytime the put call ratio gets down into this level here, that's usually a top. Anytime that the put call ratio gets way up here, that's usually a bottom. And, we were right down in this kind of overbought range. It looks like it's gone up a little bit yesterday. Steve says, Antis is Cobra Trader on Twitter at Price Action. Oh, I'll have to follow that. I don't follow that yet. All right. Before we take a look at new entries, let me take a look, see how things are going over on my positions. Carmax doing fine. Up on the day, up on the trade, no profit targets. Nktr doing pretty well. Up 1.87%. Nike, end of day. I really hope this doesn't close over 70. I want one more battle with Nike for a week, but it's pretty close, so I'll have to watch that. Microsoft is down today. Apple, Microsoft down today on a day like today when everything's up. So the big techs have been a little weak. Oh. You know what? I actually think I'm going to get out of Microsoft today. Now that I think about it, we have a close below the previous day's low. We may lose the 50 RSI. So, and the V2 hasn't done much. So very likely, let me just make sure. Microsoft, let me cancel these orders. Plus, I could trim some of my positions. I have a lot of positions. Okay. So, very likely I'm going to sell Microsoft. It'll still be a profit because I took profits up here, but I'll have to wait. If it closes below the previous day's low and closes below 50, I'll just go ahead and basically call it a scratch trade. Nvidia, fine. Little down on the trade, but fine. PTON. My plan here was to hold this as long as it stays above the 50-day moving average, which it is. So if it stays above there, I will keep it. SPY, had the overnight SPY trade. I'll buy that again today. We're at 67.81 RSI. XLV doing very well, up 0.87%, one profit target. Oil is my monthly trade, up 0.83. Alibaba and Apple. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with Apple. This has been a long trade. It's been a profitable trade, but if we break below the 5 EMA, that's going to be my signal just to get out of this trade. I've been in this trade a long time. So as long as it holds the 5, that's my line in the sand. All right. Okay, let's take a look here at some possible trades for today. This is what I was talking about earlier. Gary brought this up. This is Eli Lilly. Now, Kamal and I discussed this earlier. It is a bit chasey, there's no doubt. You're chasing a little bit of momentum. We did have a V2 here, day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 is certainly closing above day 1's close. But in addition to that, we did trigger the fractal. Here's the fractal. Here's the fractal high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. But, I mean, that's the V2's good. The fractal's good. I I guess you could kind of look at this as a cup and handle here. Here's the cup, here's the handle, breaking above the top of the handle. But what really caught my attention at the beginning here is the 200-day. Back here was the last day we closed above the 200-day. Then we closed below. We've been below, below, below. We went up, failed, up, failed, up, failed. Now it looks like it might be closing above. So my stop on this would be very, very close. If we get a close below the 200-day, that would be my stop. Let's take a look over on the weekly. Weekly is above moving averages. It's above the 50 RSI. It has the potential to run up here to like 156 on the weekly, and it's 148. So it has about 8 points of potential upside profit, and the risk could be fairly small, right? Just to close below the 200 days. So this is definitely something that I'm interested in today, Eli Lilly. PEB, Pebblebrook Hotel Trust, having a nice day up today. I just don't see a setup here. eBay has a V1, but there's a lower high here. It didn't wash out the previous low. Has that 50 right above it. I think I'm going to pass on eBay. AYX. Johan has AYX. He has it on the weekly with this V1. But do I want to enter it here on the daily? Probably not. It just recently rejected the 50 on the RSI. It's different for Johan because Johan's on weekly, so it's a whole different time frame. But looking at this on the daily, probably not. LXEH. Nope. This doesn't have enough volume. UUP, which is the dollar. Interesting. Interesting for sure. Working on a bullish engulfing bar and working on an under 30, over 30. So let me put that over on my notes. And do a little math. And the math I'm doing is I'm taking my maximum allowed loss, dividing it by the value of the 2 ATR, and that would tell me how many shares to buy. And my pen's running out of ink. But it is under the 30 right now. So that 30 is acting as resistance above. So that's something to keep in mind. CMI. I don't see anything on CMI. Give me a sec, please. GILD, Gilead. Strong, but I don't like the pattern. HRC. Tested that low and a V2. We have the 200-day. It's okay. Only 82,000 shares though, so I am going to take that off for that reason alone. AMBD. Don't really see anything there. EPAM. Also don't see anything there. Zynga. Well, Bob has this down from $7.91. He's almost made $1 on this trade. Would I buy this here? I probably would not buy this here. One, it looks like we came very close to rejecting the 50-day moving average, and it seems a little chasey. It seems a little chasey. We broke out of this fractal and we broke above the 200, but if I were to want to buy Zynga, I need it to come back and start giving myself a better risk to reward. But with Bob being in the trade, this is excellent. I would stay in it, certainly. Man, nice trade, Bob. Black bowed. You can see every time it gets to this 200-day moving average, it rejects it, so I don't see anything there. Atlantic Power Corporation. I guess that would have been the day to buy it yesterday with the V1 and the close back above the 200, but I don't think I would buy it here. And silver, does silver have a crossover? 22.23, 22.24. That's a potential. Let's take a look over at AGQ though and see what that crossover is doing. I think I'm going to wait for the, that's not AGQ. I think I'm going to wait for the crossover on AGQ because it backtests better than the SLV. Yeah, as long as Lilly stays above the 200-day moving average, that's my pick for today is Lilly, because of the V2, the breakout of the fractal, the close above the 200-day, and more importantly, what I just said, the close above the 200-day, because we rejected here, 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 and so this indicates to me possibly something's changing. It's a 58.65, so it's not too overheated on the RSI level, but I like the fact that we're above all the moving averages here, and I have a very distinct line in the sand here if I'm wrong. I mean, it could go way down. It doesn't mean it has to go barely under that, right? But I think it's a good sign that it finally showed the strength to stay above this 200. Wow, XLV doing nicely. It's possible to hit a second profit target there. That'd be excellent. All right. Gary says, I have been selling weekly calls on Apple for the last 3 weeks. It's been nicely generating premium for me. You've been doing very well with your premium selling. That's excellent, Gary. I've noticed that. I know a few weeks ago or a month ago you said you wanted to start doing more premium selling, and every single thing I've seen has worked out for you, so congratulations. Yavar says, Gary, what delta calls do you normally choose to sell weekly calls? Do you taking undefined risk, or do you hold the stock? Ava says, looking at TTCF for a little bottom fishing play. I didn't know you were a fisher, Ava. Let's see, TTCF, Tattooed Chef. Well, this is interesting here. We have a close back above the -1 ATR channel. We have a close back above the 200-day moving average. We had a false breakout to the downside over here, Ava. And MACD went positive. Not bad. Not bad. I like this entry the best, though, because it finally, this one was too chasey. And turned out that that was very chasey. This one here yesterday closed above the 200, but it didn't close, it doesn't look like it closed above the -1 ATR channel. This one came back down, tested halfway of this bar, and now it's closing above the 200 and the -1 ATR channel, so it has both support. It's down a little on the day. Tattooed Chef, I don't know what they do, but that sounds interesting. And it also tested the 200 today again as well. Yeah, that's interesting there, Ava. Gary says, Yuvar, when I'm selling covered calls like Apple, I usually look for 30 delta or less. I like to have 70% chance of keeping the premium, but would not be unhappy if they take the stock away. Excellent. Steve says, I will exit Amazon for a 1.8% loss. Failure to trend higher and stuck in a range with a bearish candle reversal. Yeah, that's kind of my sentiment as well, Steve, on Amazon, not Amazon, on Microsoft. Yeah, very similar. But the FANG stocks all seem to be doing the same thing. All right, so we're going to take Steve out of Amazon. And, well, now Microsoft's back over the 50, but very likely I'm going to sell Microsoft. I have to make some room also. I have to make some room. So I am going to get rid of Microsoft. PTON I am going to hold over the 50. Bum, 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 bum. All right. But as far as new orders go today, Lilly is my favorite. LLY. If it closes above the 200, obviously. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I was looking for a weekly trade on Beyond Meat. And I don't think this is enough for me to take it, to be honest with you. When I looked at it earlier, I thought I saw V2. We have a big down bar. We've rallied halfway up to the bar. This week we did reject the 20 and the 5, and right now it's 49.97 on the weekly. It's tough, it's tempting, but when I first looked at it, when I first mentioned to Kamal that I was thinking about shorting this on the weekly, for some reason I looked at it, I thought it was a V1, but it's not. And it's up today and has some support down here, so yeah, I think I'll just let that one go. I have to turn my attention to Nike. 69.99, now 70. Oh, I may have to pull the trigger. I may just have to lock this one in. BMY. You know, when I look at this, David, I don't really get too excited. We came into the value zone. We made a lower high. We haven't washed out this low. Technically here, you've washed out this low, but I don't think it's quite a V2 yet. The close over here, 62.18. Oh, it's 62.18. Let's look at the weekly. It's okay. It's okay, but I'd really like to see this close above 50 RSI though, David. Oh yeah, that's what you said, 50 RSI. Steve Burns says, day 2, Adobe candle reversal after the 1050 crossover. Oh, yeah, Adobe. Oh, yeah. We didn't take this yesterday because of that bearish bar, and then it went up earlier, but you're right, Steve, day 2. 2 bearish kangaroo tails in a row. Well, shoot, now Microsoft is above the 50 and above yesterday's low. I sound disappointed and I'm long. So, well, with that being said, I'd probably hold on to Microsoft then. If that's the case. Well, I've got to get rid of something. I know that. And it looks like I'm going to be getting rid of Nike. It is above 70 now. Nvidia is doing nice. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with my first. I am going to sell Microsoft here. It's weak today. I need to make room for another position. All right, I just sold Microsoft. Yeah. All right. So I needed to make some room. And it has been weak today. And let me turn my attention to Eli Lilly. And Nike. Oh, $69.99. Oh, back to 70. Well, it's turned out to be a great day. All in all, really, it has turned out to be a great day. All right, let me gear up here for Lilly. My computer did that thing again. This is ridiculous. Let me see if I'm going to have enough time to actually boot this thing back up. This is going to be close, everybody. And if so, I'm not going to be able to buy Lilly. Shoot. Okay, I have a minute. I should be okay. All right, I have 1 minute or now I have 1 minute left. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. And the all-encompassing Nike. Let's see what happens here. Oh, $69.99. Everyone's like, we don't care about your Nike, Greg. All right, I didn't buy it. Oh, when it closed back at 70.01, it was right there. Oh, well, it gives me a little balance to all my longs, I guess. Wow. That was intense at the last moment there with my platform freezing up and everything. Shoot. All right. Well, interesting, but nice day. Great day. Very, very thankful for that. Okay, so where did I get filled on everything here today? So I got filled on SPY at 369.85, and I got filled on Lily at 148.41. I have to make some room over here. Okay, so I got filled on Lily at 148.41. Oh, that was a good fill. Okay, and then SPY, I got filled at 369.85. 369.85. Right there. Not a good fill. Not a good fill. And I did get rid of Microsoft. Oh, it did go green. Oh, well. All right. So that's that. So listen, if you have any entries for me, new entries or exits, just go ahead, put them in the chat. I'll get them all taken care of here in a minute. Just real quick, just wanted to remind everybody that I do teach private lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a 15-hour course. It's one-on-one with me. 5 sessions, each session's 3 hours. I know you're going to be a better trader when you finish this course. So if you're interested in taking it, just email me. The email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Skype. If you contact me, I'll reach out, set up a Skype call with you. And it's a good time for you to ask me questions. And then I'd like to know a little bit more about your trading history and journey and goals as well. Okay. It's $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button for me before you leave. It really does help the channel out as far as YouTube goes, helps to promote it and keeps the channel alive and all that kind of stuff. So if you found this channel helpful in the past, or if you found something helpful today, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, I know Steve did something. Let's see. Steve exited Amazon. Okay. Way to keep the losses small, right, Steve? Okay, so that takes care of that. Yeah, says get rid of Nike, looks like SPY. Yeah, I didn't. I was looking over the RSI at the last second there, and it was hovering and hovering, and so I still have it. I still have it, but I did give it an honest attempt. But right before, it looked like it was, I mean, how close can it get, right? 70.01. But it's okay. It's all right. I've got lots of long positions, and a little counterbalance is good. Yes, likes Lily. Okay. I like it too. Whether it works out or not, that's a whole another thing. Ramble says, make sure to restart your computer before the start of the stream, and it sounds like it's time for a new one. You know, I don't know if it's the computer, Ramble, or if it's my broker, because it only happens on my broker's platform. It doesn't happen anywhere else, but that's a good idea to restart the computer. Thanks for that. Lily Okay, so that's Gary. Evan is in tree. Okay, good. Let's see what tree looks like. What is tree? Tree.com. Oh, I like that. I like that, Evan. False breakout to the downside, V1 under 30, over 30. My gosh, you should have mentioned that. I might have bought that. That's a decent little setup right there. That's a decent little setup. 244.48. So you're in the money 20 cents already. Yeah, I like that. What do you think of that, Kamal? False breakout, V1 under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. I like that a lot. Good luck on that one, Evan. Has a good risk to reward ratio, has a nice movement up to the 200. That's how I would view, you know, the resistance up there. Bob's and Lily. David's and Lily. Oh. Okay, Jatin booked 50% a line. Okay. Oh, glad to hear that. Oh, please don't tell me that my charts are doing that thing. Please don't tell me that. No. Oh, thank goodness. I like the book and profits there. What a trade. Very nice, Jatin. Sold 1/2. Johan is out of Microsoft. In Lily. Spelled it with a Y. And TTCF. TTCF. Oh, I see why. Yeah, I like it. Good risk to reward ratio. Gary says, I like the under 30 and over 30 V1 on tree. Evan, looks good. Yeah, I like that. I honestly, if you would have mentioned that before, I may have taken that trade. Bob says, also look at Ava's recommendation, TTCF. Didn't I'm looking here at TTCF. So Bob, you're in TTCF as well? Looks like. Oh, you took, okay, gotcha. Well, Ava has some good calls, that's for sure. Man, you guys have been on fire. Excellent calls, excellent analysis. Steve says, I'm out of Amazon. Okay, I got that. Still in AGQ, UGL, and NVDA. Right, that's what I have. Yes, so I have UGL, AGQ, and Nvidia. Nice comeback there at the end on the Nvidia for us, right? Oh, up 1.21%, so good. Yes, says, thanks, Greg, and everyone have a nice weekend. Thank you. Frank says, SPY overnight trade. Okay, I've got Frank there. And Lily. Well, I hope this Lily works out for us. But I do like that confluence. I like the V2. I like the fractal break. And more importantly than anything, I like that we finally broke out above the 200-day moving average. And it really is a bit of a cup and handle. Here's the cup. Here's the little pullback on the handle. And the move up above the top of the handle, which is a cup and handle. So it's a cup and handle, V2, fractal breakout, close above the 200-day moving average. And with all that, it might go down still, right? Gary says, happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Gary. Excellent job on your premium selling. Gary says, I'm using Street Smart Edge and I don't have those same problems. So it's me. Steve says, even my broker Merrill Lynch crashed last week near the close with all the volume coming in. Oh, do you think that's maybe what it is, Steve? I have a relatively new computer, fast one. Lova says, when you talk about the 250, etc., are you always talking about the SMA? Okay, so here's what it is, Lova. When I'm talking about the 250, or the 200, or the 100, or the 50, I am talking about SMA. When I'm talking about the 5, the 20, or the 10, I'm talking about the EMA. Does that make sense? So the 5, the 5, the 10, the 20, I'm talking about the EMA. The 50, 100, 200, and 250, I'm talking about the SMA. Unless I'm talking about like a 1050 EMA cross, the dotted line I have is a 50 EMA, but let's not confuse you on that. So 250, 200, 150 are SMAs. The 5, 10, and 20 are EMAs. David says, almost bought BMY. It made it above the 50. Oh, did it? Oh, yeah, it did. Karul is here. Good to see you. I entered Qualcomm at the close. All right. Let's get Qualcomm on there then. Okay. I hope that keeps going up for you. All right. KHAIRUL. All right. Good luck on that, bud. Dan says, thanks, Greg, for your great teaching. Everyone have a nice weekend. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Kamal says, no trades today. Okay, sounds good. Lova says, I jumped away from the broadcast to look at Lily. It looks like it closed way below the 200-day moving average. I may have something wrong with my charts. Yeah, I think your charts might be a little different than mine, Lova. You can see the black line here. That is the 200. And you can see it did clearly close above. Johan says, agreed. Tree looks great, Evan. David said, tree as well. All right. I like when David's in a trade because it usually goes up. David. Ava, add a Nvidia and TTCF. Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't have you in it. And add a Nvidia. Looks like right back at about slightly over break even. Dan says, Kamal, I hope your family that had the virus are doing well. Oh, that's right. How are they doing? Kamal says, thank you for asking. Everyone is recovering. My parents are still positive but stable. Very good. Jason says, thank you, sir. Let me repeat your words. If a stock sustains above a gap. Oh, yes, that one. Yep. If a stock sustains above a gap for 3 days, it can be the next rocket. That's exactly right. And if you have a gap up and within the next 3 days it closes below the low, that's a bad sign. Excellent, Jatin. Thank you for listening. That's great. Which stock was that on, Jatin? I forgot. Can you remind me and we'll look. Quad says, thumbs up as always, hanging on to VIX and PTON. I sold gold as it rejected the 20 EMA and it appears to have rejected the 50 RSI. So gold. Man, what a great story that Quad told us. That he's glad that he did not make the money because he met his wife. How sweet is that? I mean, can we give Quad a thumbs up on that? He deserves one. She's lucky to have you, my friend. Kamal says, Kamal, sorry to hear about your family. Hope they're making a speedy recovery. Love says, yes, it makes sense. Thank you for the short averages. You're giving more weight. That's correct. Bob says, Lily also had good news story. Trading higher potentially and optimism surrounding company. Neutralizing. The company this week announced $812.5 million share purchase agreement with the U.S. government. Oh, that's good. Happy weekend, Greg and Group. Thanks, David. Ramble says, what EMA stand for? I've looked for it before, couldn't find it. Exponential moving average, Ramble. SMA stands for simple moving average. The E stands for exponential. So it gives more weight to recent days. Hope your family gets better soon. 100% day or 100% Kamal. I hope they do as well. ALGN. Okay. Okay. Are we talking about this gap here? Is that the gap we're talking about? And now, yes, it has held. Is that the gap? Thumbs up for Quad, 100%. 100%. Okay, what's going on after hours over here? Eli Lilly's up 55 cents. That's good. Nike's up a penny. SPY's down 69 cents. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm excited. I'm going to go for a hike, and I'm going over to have dinner with some friends of mine. So I'm excited to see that. Some old friends I haven't seen for a while. I have a buddy of mine, his girlfriend just internationally came to see him, and so she's really nice. Going to see her, and taking my very good friend, and so it should be good. Oh, this is on October. Oh, I see. There you go. There's the gap up, and it did hold for 3 days. That's the key. The gap up. Here's the low of the gap. If within the next 3 days it were to have closed below the low, that's generally a bearish sign. And it did not. It did not. So in that particular case, that really played out well. Quad says, thanks Greg and group. I feel like this group is a hidden gem on YouTube. So much knowledge and collaboration. I'll tell you, it's good, right? I mean, it's good because of all of you. I mean, my gosh, some of the trades that you all have, it's just unbelievable. It's just so great, fantastic. I'm, in the middle of the pack here at best. I mean, man, what a great group of traders. I mean, I guess I'm kind of the, I don't know, orchestrator or moderator. I don't know. But it's really great, and I'm very happy for it. Bob says, be sure to social distance, Greg. Thank you, Bob. Yes. Frank says, such great folks on this channel. I 100%. Including you, Frank. My gosh, let's not forget poems, right? I hope one day you come out with that poem book, Kamal. Not Kamal, Frank, sorry. And the live stream worked again today. I hope my streaming company gets that taken care of. I was just about to go live the regular way. It looked like it was going to work, and I think had I done that, it would have just crashed in the middle, because it just crashed a few minutes after I decided not to do it, and I went this other way. Witty poem today, Frank. Love it. I agree. Let's read it one more time. There's an entertainment side to trades. You can game it, but the market will do what it wants to do, especially if you try to contain it. So read a graph and have a laugh. Just don't stick your neck out like a giraffe. It's so good. So good, so good. All right, I'm gonna head out, go for a hike. It's cold, but it's nice and sunny. So let me just leave you off like every day and just remind you, please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just be nice, pleasant, give them a hand. Let them know how much they mean to you, right? It'll make them feel good. It'll make you feel good. And then if you could also go out and do something nice for an animal, that would be doubly as good. And triply as good as if you'd hit thumbs up button on the way out. Just want to sneak that one on in there, right? So thanks for coming this week, everyone. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a nice weekend. Read a good trading book. Study your charts over the weekend. It's a good use of time. Frank says, thank you, Greg. There'll be something soon. Oh, I am glad to hear that. I mean, that's just a natural. Thanks, Greg, and everyone, as always. You're welcome, Johan. Thanks, Captain. Thank you, Greg. Happy hiking, partying. Oh, I'm not much of a partier. I'm not much of a partier, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see some of my old friends. Karul, thank you, bud. Good luck on your Qualcomm trade. It's above the 70 RSI, so I'm glad to see that. I'm glad that it was able to hold that 70. So, okay. That's a wrap for today and for the week. Ava says, thanks a lot, Greg. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you, Ava. Same to you, my friend. Okay, so, all right. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and we'll call it a week. Take care, everyone. Bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.